Have you ever noticed a strange, lingering smell around you, even though you've just taken a shower and put on fresh clothes? Maybe you felt a little embarrassed or worried that others might be noticing it too. It's a quiet worry many older women share but rarely talk about. You might think it's just part of getting older, something unavoidable. But what if it's not? What if there are simple things we're missing, small details in how we care for ourselves that make all the difference? This is a gentle reminder that sometimes the little things matter more than we realize. In this video, you'll discover 6 specific areas doctors say many senior women often overlook when cleaning, and how paying attention to them can help you feel fresher, more confident, and truly comfortable in your skin again. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Behind the ears and neck. When was the last time you thought about the area behind your ears or the back of your neck? For most of us, these little corners of our bodies don't get much attention. We might wash our face and body in the shower, run a towel through our hair, and move on, never stopping to think that these hidden spots might need a little more care. It seems so small, almost unimportant. After all, out of sight means out of mind, right? But sometimes, it's these overlooked places that hold the answers to problems we wish would just go away. It's a familiar story among many older adults. Maybe you've noticed a faint, musty scent when you're reading in your favorite chair or hugging your grandchild. Maybe, like so many, you've stood in front of the mirror after getting dressed, wondering why, even after showering, there's still a lingering odor you can't quite place. You might blame it on age, on the medicines you're taking, or even just on living in a warm climate. That's just the way it is now, you tell yourself. But is it? Or is there something else at play? Here's a question to consider. What if the solution isn't about bathing more often or changing your soap, but about where you clean? For years, we've been told that a daily shower and fresh clothes are enough. But recent research, and the advice of many doctors who work closely with seniors, has uncovered something surprisingly simple, and surprisingly neglected. The skin behind your ears and along your neck is a hot spot for odor-causing bacteria. Why? These areas are packed with sebaceous glands that produce natural oils. As we age, changes in our skin, reduced mobility, and sometimes a little less attention to the nooks and crannies during our daily routine allow sweat, oils, and dead skin cells to build up here. Add to that the warmth trapped by hair or the collars of our shirts, and you have the perfect recipe for bacteria to multiply and odors to develop. The science is straightforward. The old person smell that so many worry about is not inevitable. Much of it comes from a substance called 2-nonenal, which is produced when the oils on our skin break down with age, especially in areas where skin folds or rubs together, like behind the ears and around the neck. This isn't a sign that you're unclean or doing anything wrong. It's a normal part of the aging process. But it's also something you can manage. So, what can you do about it? The good news is you don't need expensive products or complicated routines. You just need to add a simple step to your daily care. Next time you shower, gently wash behind your ears and along your neck with a soft washcloth and mild, fragrance-free soap. Pay attention to the skin right where your ear meets your head, and the natural creases at the base of your neck. Don't scrub hard. Aging skin can be delicate, but do make this a gentle habit. When you dry off, use a clean towel to pat these areas, making sure they're not left damp. Moisture is the friend of bacteria, so keeping these spots dry is just as important as keeping them clean. For many, even this tiny change can feel strange at first. We're creatures of habit, and routines built over a lifetime can be hard to shift. But small steps bring big rewards. Just ask Nancy, a lively 74-year-old grandmother from Ohio. For years, Nancy noticed that, even though she prided herself on being clean and tidy, her daughter would sometimes wrinkle her nose when hugging her. I started to feel self-conscious, Nancy admits. I tried switching my shampoo, doing more laundry, even buying new perfumes. Nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until her doctor, during a routine checkup, mentioned the importance of washing behind the ears and neck that Nancy realized she'd been skipping these areas. It seemed silly. How much difference could it make? She wondered. But, open to trying, she began adding this small step to her showers. After just a couple of weeks, she noticed the difference. The musty smell disappeared. Now, I feel more comfortable hugging my grandchildren and sitting close to friends. It sounds like nothing, but for me, it changed everything. The lesson here is powerful. Sometimes, solutions to our worries are far simpler than we imagine. We don't have to accept discomfort or embarrassment as the price of getting older. Instead, we can take gentle, practical steps to care for ourselves, and in doing so, rediscover our confidence. So, if you find yourself worrying about those subtle smells that no one wants to talk about, know that you're not alone. And know, too, that you have the power to change it. Next time you step into the shower, give a little extra care to the skin behind your ears and along your neck. Make it a habit, as routine as brushing your teeth or putting on your favorite sweater. Over time, you'll likely notice not just fresher skin, but a lighter spirit and greater ease in your daily life. Remember, taking care of yourself is not just about looking good for others. It's about feeling good in your skin, honoring your years, and embracing every stage of life with grace. No one tells you that something as small as washing behind your ears could make you feel a little brighter, but sometimes, the smallest acts of care have the biggest impact. Let this be your gentle nudge today. You deserve to feel fresh, comfortable, and fully yourself every single day. 2. Under the breasts. If you're like many women, especially as you move through the years, you've developed a routine that feels safe and familiar. Maybe you shower every morning, dry off quickly, put on a clean bra, and carry on with your day. You check your reflection, smooth your shirt, and feel ready to face whatever comes. But sometimes, out of nowhere, you catch a faint, sour scent, something musty, almost damp, that lingers long after you've gotten dressed. You might change your top or switch to a new deodorant, but the odor sneaks back, and you start to wonder, is this just what happens with age? Is it something I have to live with? Let's pause for a moment and gently challenge that idea. Is it just age, or could there be another reason? Maybe the answer lies in a place many of us overlook, the delicate skin under the breasts. It's such a personal, private area, one we often ignore, both in conversation and in self-care. For so many years, perhaps you were rushing out the door to work, tending to your family, or simply following the same shower routine you learned decades ago. Maybe you thought, no one can see under there, so it's not a big deal. But our bodies change over time. Skin grows softer, there are more folds, and once dry areas can now feel moist or sticky, especially in the summertime or if you wear a bra for most of the day. Here's the science. The space beneath your breasts is warm, dark, and can easily trap sweat. This is true for women of all shapes and sizes, but especially for those whose breasts rest on their chest. As we get older, our skin loses some of its natural elasticity and moisture-wicking ability. The result? Sweat can pool under the breasts, and without good airflow, that moisture becomes a perfect home for bacteria and even yeast. The skin in this region is thin and sensitive, making it more prone to irritation, redness, and, yes, unpleasant smells. It's not a matter of hygiene or cleanliness, but simply the way the body works. Doctors see this all the time and remind us, under-breast odor is common, but you can do a lot to prevent it with simple, gentle care. So what's the best way to care for this area? Start with kindness. The next time you shower, use a soft washcloth with a mild, fragrance-free soap to gently clean underneath each breast. Take a moment to lift the breast and carefully wash the skin beneath. Rinse with lukewarm water, never too hot, because older skin is easily irritated. When you're done, don't forget to dry thoroughly. Pat gently with a clean, soft towel. Never rub, as this can cause irritation or tiny breaks in the skin. Make sure there's no moisture left hiding in those folds. But what about the time between showers, especially during warm days or if you're more active? Some women find it helpful to use a bit of unscented, talc-free body powder or a special medicated powder recommended by their doctor. These powders can help absorb extra moisture, keep skin feeling dry, and reduce friction. Always check with your healthcare provider if you have sensitive skin or a history of rashes. Others simply change bras more often, or choose bras made from natural, breathable fabrics like cotton. If you sweat a lot, a thin cotton handkerchief or a piece of folded paper towel tucked beneath the breast can help absorb extra moisture throughout the day. Let's bring this home with a real story. Meet Linda, a warm-hearted 77-year-old who loves gardening and Sunday church. For years, Linda was frustrated by a persistent rash and odor beneath her breasts. "It made me so self-conscious," she confided, "especially when I was with my grandkids or hugging friends at church. I felt embarrassed, even though I knew I was clean." Linda's doctor reassured her that she wasn't alone and suggested a new approach: more careful drying, a simple powder, and switching to cotton bras. Within 2 weeks, Linda felt more comfortable and more confident. "I never realized such a small change could make such a big difference," she laughs now. "I'm not worried about hugging anyone anymore." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The beauty of this solution is its simplicity. No expensive creams, no complicated routines. Just a gentle change in how you care for yourself. Maybe you'll decide to buy a few new bras, or add an extra 5 minutes to your morning routine. Maybe you'll try a gentle powder, or simply make a habit of checking this area every night before bed. Whatever you choose, remember, this is about comfort and self-love, not about perfection. You may also want to keep an eye out for any signs of persistent redness, itching, or soreness. While mild irritation is common, ongoing discomfort can be a sign of a skin infection or allergy, and it's important to talk to your doctor if anything seems off. Most of the time, though, a little extra attention is all it takes to stay comfortable and fresh. So let's break the silence and remove the shame. Underbreast odor isn't a personal failing, and it's certainly not your fault. It's a part of life, a part of aging, and, most importantly, a part that you can take control of gently and with love. By taking just a few minutes every day to care for this sensitive skin, you're not just preventing discomfort. You're telling yourself that you matter, and that your comfort is worth every bit of effort. As you move forward, remember Linda's story, and the countless women like her who found relief with a small change. You deserve to feel fresh, confident, and comfortable every day. Let this be a new chapter in your self-care, and know that these little acts of kindness to your body are acts of kindness to your spirit as well. You've cared for so many in your life. Now is the perfect time to care for yourself, right down to the places no one sees but you. 3. Inside shoes. There's something so comforting about slipping into a favorite pair of shoes, a well-worn loafer that's molded to your foot, or those reliable sneakers that have seen you through countless neighborhood strolls. For many older adults, our shoes aren't just a necessity. They're part of the fabric of our days. They accompany us to the grocery store, keep us steady as we garden, or cushion our steps as we walk the dog. But have you ever noticed a stubborn, unpleasant smell lingering even after your shoes have been off for hours? You're not alone. That lingering odor inside your shoes is one of those quiet, persistent nuisances that can nag at your confidence and comfort, even in the privacy of your own home. It's easy to think, shoes get smelly, it's just normal, or to blame it on age, the weather, or perhaps even the socks you wear. Maybe you just shrug, spritz some air freshener, and carry on. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, instead of just accepting it, there's something simple and effective you can do? Something that could make each step feel fresher, more comfortable, and leave you feeling a little lighter on your feet. Let's pause and dig a bit deeper. Why do shoes, especially for seniors, seem to harbor odors no matter how often we change our socks or air them out? The answer isn't complicated, but it is often overlooked. As we get older, our feet can change in ways we might not expect. The skin may become thinner and drier, but at the same time, sweat glands can become more active, especially if we spend more time sitting or have certain health conditions like diabetes or circulatory issues. This sweat, combined with the natural bacteria that live on our skin, gets trapped inside the warm, dark space of our shoes. Unlike other parts of our clothing, shoes don't get washed nearly as often, so the moisture, heat, and bacteria have all the time they need to mingle and multiply. From a scientific point of view, it's a classic recipe for odor. Bacteria thrive in moist environments, and when sweat breaks down inside your shoes, it releases compounds that smell less than pleasant. This is made worse if shoes are worn multiple days in a row, or if they don't have a chance to fully dry between uses. Some people are more prone to this than others. Genetics, medications, and health can all play a role. But no one is immune, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. So, what can you do? The best solutions are gentle, practical, and easy to incorporate into your daily life. First, think about your socks. Cotton or moisture-wicking socks are much better at absorbing sweat and letting your feet breathe than synthetic materials. Try to change your socks at least once a day, and more often if you notice your feet getting damp. If you can, rotate your shoes. Give each pair a day to rest and air out between uses. This alone can dramatically cut down on lingering odors. But the magic doesn't stop there. After you take your shoes off, don't just kick them under the bed or into the closet. Open them up and place them somewhere with good air circulation. Maybe near a window, or outside on a sunny porch if the weather is nice. Sunlight is nature's deodorizer. Once a week, sprinkle a little baking soda inside your shoes to soak up excess moisture and neutralize smells. You can also buy special shoe powders or inserts at the pharmacy designed for this exact purpose. For stubborn cases, wash your shoes if they're machine washable, or use a damp cloth and gentle soap for delicate materials. Here's a little story from my neighbor Frank, an 80-year-old retired firefighter with a knack for home remedies. Frank loved his morning walks, but started to notice that his shoes had picked up a powerful odor. At first, he thought it was just a fact of life, but then he began to feel embarrassed taking his shoes off at friends' houses or during family visits. My granddaughter would wrinkle her nose and say, "Grandpa, what's that smell?" He laughs. Determined to solve the problem, Frank started washing his socks in hot water and leaving his shoes on the porch to air out every day. He tried putting cedar shoe inserts inside overnight, and occasionally used a bit of baby powder in his socks. The change was almost immediate. Not only did the odor disappear, but Frank said his feet felt cooler, less irritated, and his confidence soared. It was like getting a fresh start, he says. I never realized how something so simple could change how I felt about myself. If you want to take it one step further, consider the inside of your shoes the way you do your linens or towels. They benefit from regular care. There are even UV shoe sanitizers available these days. Just a quick zap to kill the germs and bacteria, if you're feeling fancy. If you sweat a lot, look for foot sprays with gentle, antibacterial ingredients or natural options like a few drops of tea tree oil mixed in water. And always let your feet dry completely after bathing before slipping on socks or shoes. Above all, don't let a little odor keep you from the joys of daily life. This is a problem everyone faces, and it has nothing to do with your worth, your cleanliness, or how much you care for yourself. Paying extra attention to your shoes is one of those loving acts of self-care that sends a simple message, I deserve to feel good, from head to toe. So next time you unlace those shoes after a busy day, take a moment to thank them for carrying you. Give them the same gentle attention you'd give to anything else that matters. Sprinkle a bit of baking soda, open them up to the sunshine, or try out Frank's favorite cedar inserts. In doing so, you're not just caring for your shoes, you're caring for your comfort, your dignity, and your everyday happiness. Little things like this are what keep us feeling fresh, lighthearted, and confident at any age. Go ahead and take that step. You deserve it. 4. Upholstered furniture at home. There's a unique comfort in a favorite chair. Maybe it's the plush recliner where you watch Jeopardy every evening, the well-loved sofa that's hosted years of family gatherings, or that cozy armchair in the corner where you read the morning paper. For many seniors, upholstered furniture is more than just decor. It's a part of daily ritual and the background to countless memories. But have you ever noticed, after a while, that your favorite spot doesn't feel as fresh as it used to? Maybe you catch a faint musty odor, or your daughter mentions that the living room smells a bit lived in. You might open a window, light a candle, or spritz a little air freshener, hoping the scent will disappear. But the feeling lingers, making you wonder, is this just what happens with age, or could there be something more to it? Let's challenge that thought for a moment. Is it just time and age that bring on these subtle smells, or could our upholstered furniture be hiding something we can change? After all, while we're diligent about washing our clothes, bedding, and even our hair, how often do we truly think about the fabric surfaces we spend hours on every day? Science, and the wisdom of professional cleaners, gives us an answer. Upholstered furniture is a magnet for tiny particles. Skin cells, sweat, pet dander, food crumbs, and all the scents of daily life. As we grow older, we may spend more time indoors and on our favorite chairs, and our skin naturally sheds a little more. Add in the effects of medication, changes in metabolism, and less frequent deep cleaning, and our sofas and recliners can quietly soak up odors over time. Unlike hard surfaces, fabric holds onto these molecules, sometimes even multiplying them as moisture and body heat get trapped within the cushions. Doctors and cleaning experts alike have noticed, a significant source of old person smell isn't from the person at all, but from the furniture that gently collects memories, stories, and yes, a bit of life's aroma day after day. This isn't something to feel embarrassed about. It's simply a reminder that just as we care for our bodies, a little extra attention to our home's soft surfaces can make all the difference. So, what can be done without calling in a professional cleaning crew every month? Thankfully, a few simple, gentle habits can keep your furniture as fresh as your favorite garden in spring. First, give each upholstered piece a regular airing out. On nice days, open the windows and let a cross breeze sweep through your living room or den. Sunlight and fresh air help break down lingering odors naturally. Next, try to vacuum your chairs and sofas at least once a week, focusing not just on the seats but also along the seams and under the cushions. Most vacuum cleaners come with special upholstery attachments that make this easier. For an extra boost, sprinkle a little baking soda over the fabric every few weeks. Let it sit for 15 minutes, then vacuum it away. Baking soda works wonders, absorbing smells without any harsh chemicals. If a cushion cover is removable and machine washable, give it a gentle wash on a sunny day and let it dry completely before replacing it. Spot clean any visible stains as soon as they appear. Don't let them become permanent memories. If your furniture ever feels damp or sticky, try using a small fan or a dehumidifier in the room. Less moisture means fewer odors. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If you have pets or grandchildren who love to cuddle up, consider using washable throws or covers that you can clean regularly. These not only add color and personality to your space, but also create an easy-to-wash barrier between daily life and your cherished furniture. Let me share a story from Evelyn, a spirited 79-year-old who loves hosting her weekly book club. For years, Evelyn's living room was her pride and joy. But one day, she noticed her guests seemed restless. One even brought a scented candle as a hostess gift. "I knew something was off," Evelyn says, "but I was mortified to think my house smelled musty." Instead of feeling defeated, Evelyn decided to treat her furniture the way she did her treasured china, with a bit of weekly care. She began vacuuming every Friday, opening the windows, and using baking soda as her secret weapon. Within a month, Her living room felt lighter and brighter, and her friends commented that it smelled like fresh laundry and sunshine. Evelyn laughs. Now I look forward to cleaning days. My house feels more like me again. Remember, you don't have to tackle everything at once. Start with the chair or sofa you use most. Make a simple checklist. Air it out, vacuum, sprinkle baking soda, check for any stains, and wash removable covers when you can. These are small, manageable tasks that can become part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth or watering your plants. The truth is, our homes are living reflections of ourselves, growing, aging, and needing care. There's no shame in that. The soft places where you've laughed, rested, and shared stories deserve a little love in return. Keeping your upholstered furniture clean and fresh isn't just about banishing a smell. It's about protecting your comfort, your health, and your dignity. It's about welcoming friends and family into a space that feels open, inviting, and truly yours. So, the next time you settle into your favorite chair, know that a few simple steps can make a world of difference. You've worked hard to build a life of warmth and hospitality. Let your home reflect that at every level, even in the soft, quiet places where you rest. With each gentle act of care, you're not just cleaning furniture. You're honoring a lifetime of memories and permitting yourself to enjoy every moment, surrounded by the freshness and peace you deserve. 5. Closets. Let's take a moment to think about your closet. For many of us, it's more than just a place to hang clothes. It's a little archive of our lives. Old sweaters lovingly folded, that dress you wore to your granddaughter's wedding, a favorite scarf for chilly mornings, and a dozen other memories packed onto hangers or tucked into drawers. Opening the closet door can bring a smile, a moment of nostalgia, or sometimes, a whiff of something not so pleasant. Maybe it's a musty, closed-in smell, or a hint of dampness that lingers on coats and linens. Over time, it's easy to get used to it and just close the door a little faster. But that faint odor, while common, is a quiet sign that our closets need a little extra care, something so many of us overlook. It's natural to assume that once our clothes are clean and hung up, the job is done. After all, you wash, dry, and carefully store everything away, so how could they possibly develop a smell? Maybe you've even wondered, is it just because the house is old? Is it something I have to accept as part of getting older? But let's flip that idea on its head for a second. What if the answer isn't about age or the house at all? What if it's simply about airflow, moisture, and how we store our favorite things? Here's what the science tells us. Closets are often small, tightly packed, and not very well ventilated. When we close the door, we trap in a little pocket of air along with whatever moisture is on our freshly washed, or not so fresh, clothes. Over time, even small amounts of leftover dampness, maybe from a rushed laundry day or a rainy walk, can encourage the growth of mold, mildew, or bacteria. These invisible guests love dark, warm places, and their favorite meal is the dust and fibers from our beloved clothes. Even our own skin cells and natural body oils, which rub off on clothing throughout the day, can quietly add to the mix. The result? A gentle but persistent old smell that clings to sweaters, sheets, and everything in between. So what's the gentle, practical solution? The first step is to let your closet breathe. On sunny days, open your closet doors wide and, if you can, open a nearby window. Sunlight and fresh air are two of nature's best deodorizers, working together to fight both odor and dampness. Next, make it a habit to check your closet for crowded areas or clothes packed too tightly. Giving your garments a little space lets air circulate and helps them stay fresh longer. You might even take everything out once a season and give the shelves and drawers a good wipe with a lightly damp cloth, followed by a dry one. If you notice moisture, maybe after a humid week or a wet winter, consider using simple moisture absorbers. There are lots of options at the store, from little packets to hanging pouches, or you can even use a bowl of baking soda or some chalk to soak up dampness naturally. For a touch of comfort, try adding a few cedar blocks or lavender sachets. They not only help absorb moisture but also give your closet a gentle, clean scent that lingers on your clothes. Just remember, strong perfumes or chemical air fresheners can be irritating to sensitive skin or allergies, so gentle, natural options are best. And don't forget about the clothes themselves. Make sure everything is fully dry before putting it away. If you have items that you don't wear often, like holiday sweaters or spare linens, pull them out every couple of months for a quick airing. Even a few hours draped over a chair by an open window can work wonders. Let me share a story from Lila, a 71-year-old retired schoolteacher in Indiana. For years, Lila struggled with a closet that seemed to eat the freshness of her clothes. She tried dryer sheets, scented sprays, and even expensive closet organizers, but nothing seemed to last. It got to the point where I was embarrassed to let my grandchildren borrow a blanket or even sit on my bedspread, she laughs. But after chatting with a friend, Lila decided to try a simpler approach. She set aside one Saturday, opened every closet in her house, and gave them all a deep clean. She donated clothes she no longer wore, wiped down shelves, and added little mesh bags of lavender. She now leaves her closet doors open on sunny days and makes sure not to pack things too tightly. The difference is incredible, she says. Everything feels lighter and cleaner. I even look forward to picking out what to wear each morning again. It doesn't have to be overwhelming or time-consuming. Start small, maybe just one section of your closet or one drawer of linens. As you go, enjoy rediscovering old favorites, letting go of things that no longer serve you, and creating a little space for new memories to find a home. Above all, know that caring for your closet isn't about chasing perfection. It's about honoring your life, your comfort, and the clothes that have walked with you through so many chapters. With a few gentle habits, letting the air in, giving your garments room, and adding a touch of nature's freshness, you can banish that musty, old smell and keep every item in your closet feeling like new. And as you open your closet door each morning, you'll be greeted by a little wave of freshness and possibility, a quiet reminder that small acts of care bring joy and confidence at any age. So go ahead, throw open those doors, and let your closet breathe. You, and your favorite clothes, deserve it. 6. Between the toes. If you're like most people, you probably don't spend much time thinking about your toes, let alone the spaces between them. Maybe your feet get a quick rinse in the shower, you dry them off with the rest of your body, slip on socks or slippers, and that's it. Out of sight, out of mind. But as the years go by, you might start to notice little changes. A faint, sour smell that lingers even after a bath, or a persistent itch that just won't go away. Perhaps you chalk it up to age or simply accept it as one of those small annoyances of getting older. It seems too minor to fuss about, so you ignore it. But sometimes, the smallest details can make the biggest difference in how we feel, move, and even how confident we are around loved ones. Let's pause and consider something most people overlook: the narrow spaces between our toes. Why do these little crevices matter so much? Is it possible that a lot of the foot odor, itchiness, or even skin problems seniors face start right here? Instead of thinking, "My feet are just old," or "This is just how it is now," what if the answer was actually about giving a little extra care to the places we usually forget? The truth is, the area between the toes is like a tiny, hidden world, warm, dark, and often moist, especially after a shower or a day spent walking in socks and shoes. It's the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungi, including the pesky culprit known as athlete's foot. As we age, changes in circulation, mobility, and even vision can make it harder to thoroughly wash and dry our feet, so these spaces are often missed. Add to that the fact that our skin naturally becomes thinner and more delicate, making it more prone to irritation or infection. Even those who pride themselves on cleanliness can be surprised by how quickly problems can crop up in these overlooked spots. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Doctors who care for seniors see this all the time. Many cases of persistent foot odor or recurrent itching can be traced back to moisture and bacteria trapped between the toes. Fungi love these conditions, and once they find a home, they're tough to get rid of. What might start as a mild discomfort can turn into cracked skin, redness, or even painful sores if not addressed gently and promptly. But don't worry, there's plenty you can do, and none of it is complicated or expensive. The first gentle step is awareness. Next time you're in the shower, pay special attention to your feet. Use a soft washcloth or a gentle sponge, and with a bit of warm, soapy water, clean carefully between each toe. It's important not to scrub too hard, as the skin here is sensitive, but make sure you're removing any dirt or buildup. When you step out of the shower, don't just dry off quickly. Use a soft, clean towel to gently pat between each toe, making sure there's no dampness left behind. Moisture is what bacteria and fungi crave, so keeping these tiny spaces dry is your secret weapon. If you tend to sweat more or notice that your feet stay damp, consider sprinkling a little cornstarch or a non-medicated, fragrance-free foot powder between your toes before putting on socks. This helps absorb moisture throughout the day. Some seniors prefer moisture-wicking socks made from natural fibers like cotton or special blends you can find at any pharmacy or department store. And try to let your feet breathe when possible. Going barefoot at home on clean floors or swapping out shoes so they have time to air out. The more airflow, the less opportunity for unpleasant smells to develop. Let me share the story of Dorothy, a spirited 76-year-old who never missed her weekly bridge club. Dorothy always took care of herself, but over time, she started to feel embarrassed by a lingering odor she couldn't shake, and her toes felt itchy no matter how often she showered. "I thought maybe it was just age," she admits, "or something I had to live with." But after a gentle nudge from her doctor, Dorothy decided to start giving her feet a bit more attention. She washed and dried carefully between her toes every morning, tried out a soft foot powder, and let her shoes air out overnight. Within just a week, she noticed a dramatic difference. The odor was gone, the itching eased, and her confidence soared. Now, Dorothy doesn't think twice about kicking off her shoes at a friend's house or slipping into sandals in the summertime. "It's funny how something so small made me feel so much better," she says with a smile. If you ever notice redness, peeling, or a rash between your toes that doesn't go away with gentle care, it's a good idea to check with your doctor or podiatrist. Sometimes, a prescription cream or special treatment is needed for stubborn cases of athlete's foot or other skin concerns. But most of the time, a bit of mindful daily care is all it takes to keep your feet happy, healthy, and smelling fresh. Don't underestimate the power of these little acts of self-care. When you take a moment to tend to the spaces between your toes, you're not just preventing odor or discomfort, you're investing in your comfort, mobility, and dignity. Our feet carry us through every season of life, and they deserve gentle attention in return. With a simple, loving routine, you'll walk with confidence and comfort, knowing you've done something good for yourself, right down to your toes. So, the next time you finish your shower or bath, remember, those tiny spaces between your toes matter. Give them a little care, let them breathe, and you'll be amazed at how much fresher, lighter, and more confident you'll feel every single day. As we come to the end of this journey together, I hope you feel empowered by the simple wisdom shared today. So often, the challenges we face as we grow older seem insurmountable, or we tell ourselves that discomfort and embarrassment are simply part of aging. But the truth is, little acts of self-care can make all the difference. By paying attention to those 6 often overlooked areas, behind the ears and neck, under the breasts, inside your shoes, on your upholstered furniture, in your closets, and between your toes, you're not just fighting unwanted odors. You're embracing your right to feel fresh, confident, and comfortable in your skin and your own home. Remember, there's no shame in noticing changes or wanting to improve how you feel day to day. Every wrinkle and every memory in your life deserves to be met with kindness and respect, including your daily routines. The small steps we take to care for ourselves are powerful. They nurture our bodies, uplift our spirits, and remind us that we deserve to enjoy each day to its fullest. So, I encourage you, choose one new habit to start this week. Maybe it's gently cleaning behind your ears, letting your shoes breathe, or airing out your favorite chair. Notice the difference, not just in how your home smells, but in how you feel about yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found these tips helpful, please share your own stories or favorite self-care habits in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos made with you in mind. Here's to living each day with confidence, dignity, and a touch of joy, because you deserve nothing less.